Everybody ready? Come on, let's go.
The Rick Thorne Show! Let's go! The Rick Thorne Show! Let's go!
Let's go. Yo, what's up, man? It's Rick Thorne. Welcome to my show. I'm happy that you're here. I'm stoked because I got a rad guest, good friend of mine. I'm glad that he made it in. Andrew Do, a.k.a. Deezy.
My brother,
What's up, Deezy? Wait, give me a pound.
Boom. So happy to be here.
What's up, dude? What have you been up to? I know a lot. That's like, but what's going on right now today? How you feeling?
Today, I'm finally on the Rick Thorne Show.
Yeah.
We've been trying to make this happen for so long. I'm glad I finally came up here, and then the time worked out. I'm finally in town.
Well, this is the only reason I got a studio is because of you. Because I was like, Deezy, you would be on my podcast? She's like, no, only if we could do it in person. So then I went, I bought this building.
That's my excuse.
I bought this building and these lights.
This is sick. The setting is sick. I feel like it's more not only personal, but it's like, just look at it. Like, let us know what y'all think of how you guys are viewing this.
I love him already. Yeah, let's go.
I did a bunch of Zoom podcasts before, and me watching it as a consumer, it's like school a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah, but this is like
during COVID, everyone was Zooming stuff, and then it became like a lazy way to podcast. But in some ways, if you want content from someone that's overseas,
for sure,
they can't make it in, and you still want them on your show, I could see it that it's beneficial. But but for me, I didn't have. Luckily, I'm at Infanity, and these guys kill it. Yeah. But I was able to you know what I'm saying, so it works out better. So I'm glad we're here.
Yeah.
You know what I like most about you, dude, is what I relate to you a lot is your positivity.
Thank you.
Is that something you've always been like, super positive? No. People ask me that all the time. Oh, you're always positive. I'm not. I still challenge myself. Are you the same way?
I feel like I'm the same way, and I haven't always been the positive Deezy everyone thinks I am. Or in a sense, I still feel like I'm trying to find that positive Deezy. Because we can't stay positive 100% of the time, every day, every minute. But I think what's more powerful than being positive is being optimistic.
Yeah.
And what distinguishes the two, I feel like, is being optimistic is when you're in a dark tunnel, but you're constantly searching for the light.
Yeah.
And there's a term called toxic positivity, where when you're in a bad time and you're just trying to put a smile on and saying everything's okay, but when it's really not.
Oh, toxic positivity.
Toxic positivity.
Never heard that before.
Me neither, until
but they cancel each other out, basically. So you're just acting that you're positive, and inside you're like struggling.
It's kind of like hiding your emotions and not letting them flow and working with it. Being optimistic, I feel like is, I accept this is a bad time. I accept I feel bad. And I'm not in a good state, or maybe I'm hurt, but we're gonna get through it, and we're gonna figure it out and find the light.
That reminds me of a commercial. They said, "Never let them see you sweat." It's a deodorant commercial.
Yeah.
Maybe that was a toxic positivity.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you know what? But the reason I ask you is because when I was going through some things, like everybody goes through something in life, right? And I would post stuff on Instagram that was positive, and I still am very positive. Yeah. But I used to be a lot more, because I knew that I was going through something. So what I was posting was what I was still looking for. And then once I found what I was looking for, I didn't have to post it anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
So you say you challenges yourself. Do you feel that way sometimes? Like if you post something that's positive, it's like, do you think that's something that you're striving for in your own self, so you want to share that and attract that to you?
It's both.
Yeah.
It's both, because I got that response. Like, let's say I was going through a hard time.
Yeah.
And what I create and what I put out there projects, in a sense, how I'm feeling during that state or during that point in my life.
Yeah.
And people get that. And I didn't understand that until someone told me, like, I kind of see what you're going through. I'm like, wait, like, how do you know what I'm going through? So I was subconsciously creating how I was feeling inside.
Yeah.
But that helps people. Because let's say I just post the good times, the success, the smiles, all the good things.
Yeah.
And it's not really relatable. Nor could it really inspire others that, hey, I'm going through a dark time too, and we can both get through this. And I'm going on the journey with you as
Yeah.
opposed to just showing you the success, the trophies.
Well, that's all social media is a lot. Too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we stand out when we post what we're actually going through, real life, raw,
Yeah.
unedited.
You need a balance though, because if
Right.
someone was to post just all Debbie Downer stuff, I'm like, I just kind of be like, dude, like,
Yeah.
post something happy.
For
You know
sure.
what I mean? Like we're only human. I just did this event. I was at the NoFX shows, their final shows in San Pedro, and some kid came up to me, some dude, and he's like, "Man, why are you always happy?" And I was like, "Well, I mean, that's how people see me."
Yeah.
But in my head, I'm like, "Well, I'm not always happy." And he's like, "What do you mean?" I go, "Well, I got these love handles." You know what I'm saying? My
Yeah.
point is that like, yeah, you want to project positivity. You want to be a
Right.
positive dude. You want people, you get what you put out there and what you think and say.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're human beings. We're not going to be like, I'm not like 100%, you
Yeah.
know? And it's like even Superman got paralyzed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Dang, I actually said that. That happened. Christopher Reeves.
Paralyzed?
You don't know who that? You're too young.
A little bit.
The guy that played Superman, Christopher Reeves, he got paralyzed.
No way.
Yeah, sad. But anyways.
But yeah, back to
I'm
what you
not trying
said,
to be
challenging
mean. I was
yourself.
just trying to be funny, but sometimes it doesn't work.
I got to do my homework. But yeah, I do challenge myself. In a sense, the content I post, it keeps me accountable.
Yeah.
And it keeps me aligned with who I want to be. So when I
Yeah.
post me being disciplined, and I posted, let's say me doing a hard trick and me not giving up, I can look back on it a week from now, a month from now, and be like, that's who I want to be. Even
Yeah.
though today I don't feel like doing the trick or I don't feel like going outside, that is the one I want to be like, not today's me. So
Yeah.
in a sense, it does challenge me and keep me accountable.
Yeah.
Like, this is the Deezy I want to be. This is Deezy I actually am. I can't listen to today's feelings.
Yeah, I get it. Do you ever like be in a weird mood or like people are around someone like, I thought you were always positive. Ever happened to you?
Yes,
Yeah.
all the time.
And then you're like, dude, I'm just,
Yeah,
human. Yeah.
for sure, all the time. And in a sense, they're probably being funny, but maybe they're serious. But like you said, we're human,
Yeah.
and it's doing everyone a disservice if I just show the positivity. 'Cause like I said, in a sense, that's toxic positivity because it's not real. But I want to be able to show it's real by just being optimistic. Yeah, my leg just got cut off, but I'm gonna start riding when it heals.
Yeah.
Not saying, oh, I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna buy another leg. Blah blah blah. I'm okay. It don't hurt. Cut your leg off too. Nah, this sucks. I'm glad you're good. I'll be back though.
Yeah.
This sucks.
Well, I
But I'll
will
be back.
say that speaking of something like that, like injuries and stuff, or any setbacks in life, is that the more positive you are, the better off you'll be. Like, I used to have this friend, he'd be like, see, man, I told you, like, I always look for the bad in things, and then see that happen. It's like, no, you brought that to you because that's what you saw. You saw the bad before it even happened. And so do you think that, like, and I could already know the answer to this, but I want to ask you,
Yeah.
do you think, like, what you think and say is what you get most?
That's what I love about you because you talk a lot about law of attraction.
Yeah.
And I resonate with it because a lot of the things that I accomplished, plus a lot of the things that happened to me in a bad aspect, I thought of it before it happened to me. So in a sense, I brought it to life. By
Oh,
thinking
you mean
about
if you brought the bad?
it. Yeah,
Yeah, because you can either bring bad or good.
or good.
Whatever you think or say, it's your choice, really.
Because your subconscious don't know the difference. It
Nope.
just
Dude,
translates and
you know what's
projects.
up, dude. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference between high, low, hot, cold, rich, poor, only what you tell it.
Right.
And then it seeks it for you.
Exactly.
That's what I was saying. My buddy would be like, see, I look at the negative before. I was like, well, you're already telling your subconscious mind,
Yeah.
look for the negative. And so I think that with people is like if they always think and speak negatively, they're just seeing negative.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not like, see, I told you so. It's like, no, that's an internal thing
Right.
that you have control of, that you have to get a hold of.
Yeah.
How do you get a hold of your subconscious mind and your thinking?
This journey I'm on is to fix that. Because I feel like naturally as humans, we're better at finding problems than solutions.
Yeah.
Like always trying to pick at something, always trying to try to improve, which is great. But we have to kind of shift our mindset, like look for more solutions. And I learned that because when I'm helping people, right, it's more easy to tell them, okay, what is happening that's bad? What are all the problems? And then just do the opposite because it's easier finding problems than solutions.
Yeah.
they'll probably write out a whole sheet of problems faster than a whole sheet of solutions. But if you have a whole sheet of problems, just do the opposite.
Yeah.
So right now, I'm always critiquing my mind, and always being grateful and practicing gratitude, because that helps with everything. When you practice gratitude, for me at least, it makes me not be so negative. It makes me look at the bright side. It makes me
Appreciate what you have.
appreciate what I have, even the small things. So
Yeah.
one thing that I implement is gratitude journaling. That helps me fix my mindset and not always have the initial negative thought. It's always just gratitude, gratitude, gratitude.
By writing it down, that's different than just
Mm-hmm.
typing it in your phone.
Yeah.
Something about writing down your goals
Mhm.
and your dreams with like actual, like I made my son do that. I said, "What's your goals with football? Where what you want to do?" And
Right.
I always say, keeping up with your goals. You look at your goals. You write. I made him write it out.
Yeah.
So writing it out is different, I think.
It just makes it a little more real.
Yeah, more concrete when you're like feelings, because you're like putting it down on paper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know who Napoleon Hill is?
Yes. I listen to him almost every day.
Okay. Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay. So then I don't know, do you have his lectures?
The one I like to listen to frequently is him summarizing Think and Grow Rich.
Okay, yeah, because Think and Grow Rich was his big book.
Yeah.
He's kind of like a lot of punk rockers would be like, Bad Brains invented PMA, which is positive mental attitude.
Yeah.
Which is through the music.
Yeah.
But the reality is PMA was from Napoleon Hill,
Mm.
positive mental attitude. I think it's for like $295. That's what I paid for it. Might gone up. Everything's gone up.
Yeah.
But for 10 hours of his lectures, it's Napoleon Hill in his own words. And they're like 10 episodes that are hour long of him giving lectures to a live audience.
Wow.
And he talks about and that's where I learned about the subconscious mind, that like it never goes to sleep. And, and then I thought, oh, that's why they told you don't sleep in front of the TV. Because it's just your subconscious mind is listening to all that.
Mm.
And I really, so you know about, because I ask people about Napoleon Hill, people are like, who? That's
Yeah.
cool, you're so young and you know about him.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
intriguing. Like, it really interests me what they talk about. Earl Nightingale. I like
Mhm.
listening to him.
Okay.
And he talks a lot, and with Napoleon Hill.
So what led you to, you just found that yourself?
I think where it stemmed from was my interest in law of attraction.
Got
So
it.
once you go down that rabbit hole, then you hear about Think and Grow Rich. You hear
Mhm.
about
You
Earl
Google.
Nightingale.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go into that rabbit hole. That's how I found them.
Have you always been this way, or did you have to? Were you raised in a way that was like, negative, or any kind of like things happened in your life that made you go, I don't want to be that way. I'm going to be positive. Anything happen to you, or you just kind of said, hey, I want to better my life?
A little bit. Growing up, I definitely wouldn't say I was raised in a toxic household, nor a fairly violent one. But I think a lot of my influence and a lot of my direction and shifting came from school.
Got it.
Because I don't know the exact math, but I feel like between grades 1 and 12, first grade to 12th grade, we're more in school than we are at home, really.
Yeah.
At least it feels like it.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Right. We
Seems like
have
it drags on forever.
we
Yeah.
have 10 months of school and 2 months off every year.
Yeah.
And I feel like where you actually change is what you constantly consume. So when you're constantly in school, you're constantly around the students, you're constantly being taught this, and you're constantly on social media, because our generations are different.
Yeah.
So we have more sources to be influenced by.
Yep.
TV, podcast, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, other people's social media, teachers. So I want to say the shift happened for me 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, where I didn't want to fit in. I didn't see fitting in being beneficial for me, in the sense of I want to ride bikes. No one else is riding bikes.
Dude, you're preaching to the choir with that one.
Yeah.
I mean, keep going, keep talking. I want to hear your story.
Yeah, so where I'm at, everyone is doing the traditional sports. Like in middle school, football, basketball, soccer, baseball. Same thing in high school, wrestling, football, soccer, baseball. No one's riding bikes around me locally. I only
Right.
seen it online.
Right.
Seen you online. seen riders in the East Coast doing wheelies and have a similar style to me, one that I resonated with. So I'm like, why would I? If I love riding bikes, why would I veer away from it and go to this crowd just because I feel like I fit in or I want to fit in? I'm just keep doing what I'm doing, whether it's riding by myself, whether it's influencing my friends to get bikes similar to mine so we can ride around. And it worked. It worked in the sense of me wanting to be different, gave me happiness, gave me fun, and a little bit of success. So why not just keep trying doing the different route, keep being different?
Yeah.
And that's what I tell other people to do. When it comes to, like, the bike scene, everyone's doing this trick. But if you were to do it, you would just kind of fit in with them and be average. So try something different, or try a different song, try a different setting, try a different bike. Always choose to be different for the sake of not just standing out, but trying something that might work better.
You know what's funny I can relate to? It's funny you say that. It's because when I competed for so many years back in the day, I competed for 24 years straight. Yeah. And if a lot of dudes are doing this trick, I purposely wouldn't want to learn it to learn my own trick. Not to stand out, but not to blend in. Yeah. Because me and you have a lot in common. I went to school in the 80s, you know, just real briefly, and it was way different than it is now. Yeah. Like, we were hated by everybody. But we just laughed at it, and we said, we're going to keep riding. We're going to keep doing our thing. I always felt like I didn't fit in. But bike riding gave me a sense. And let me ask you this, because this is what it did for me. It gave me a sense of, like, not empowerment, but it gave me an identity. It just made me feel alive. Yeah. Is that what riding did for you in a sense? What did it do? What did it do for you that made you go, all right, this is what I want to do?
I can relate. I realized it when I got in trouble at school.
Yep.
And I told my mom, you can take everything else. Take my phone, take my games, my TV, but just don't take my bike.
And why is that?
It made me feel free.
That's it, bro.
Yeah.
I tell people that all the time. You can just get on it and go, right? Mm-hmm. And that feeling's priceless.
It is. You feel like you don't want to look back. You want to keep riding. And it's a good source of positive dopamine. Better than the games.
100%.
Better than the stuff at school. And then, yeah, you feel like a superhero. Or at least I do. I own a bike.
Dude, I still put on my headphones and ride 10 miles a day because that's what I did as a kid. And it clears my mind and, like, makes me feel alive, and I'm free doing my thing. So I relate to you. We have a lot. Like, how old are you?
22.
Okay, yeah. So I got a couple years on you. But
couple years.
But what you're saying at 22 is, like, that feeling still resonates with. I'm glad to hear this. It still resonates with youthful kids of why they got into riding, because sometimes people might get into riding because they see the success, or like that's a lifestyle, or like that's the money I can make, or they think they can make, or they you know, they want to see what they can get out of it besides just feeling good. Yeah. And it's cool that you stumbled onto it because of the way it made you feel, because that means you really love it. Yeah. And that's something no one could take from you.
I knew it was like that early on, because even when I look back, when I started riding and I got into it, I wasn't even, it wasn't a thought in my mind of me being sponsored, because that wasn't my goal initially. Right. I had a BMX bike.
What was your goal?
Just to keep riding.
Just go out and have fun.
And just have fun. I didn't have any goals regarding bikes at that time, because I was just having fun riding bikes. Yeah. And then that resulted in me getting noticed, me meeting new people, and me leaving the city. And then it just kind of expanded.
Well, let me interrupt you real quick. That also goes to, like, bike life. You know, for the kids listening, you know, I ride 20-inch bikes, or anyone listening, you ride the 26, 29-inch bikes. So it's a different world. It's a different kind of. It's the same kind of culture, but it's different. It's a different vibe. And so bike life has only really been out, like, within the last 5, 6 years, 7 years, right?
Correct.
So when you got into it, you probably felt like there's not really any opportunities anyways, because dudes are just out riding the street having fun. Yeah. That's how I was too, because I wasn't, like, trying to be, you know what I mean? Right. So that's another thing I relate with you with. So you got into it, like, thinking, like, oh, okay, well, I like the way this feels. I want to do it, not because I got to map this out.
No expectations.
There you go. Yeah.
I love that. That's how I like to go about a lot of things in life. Like, when I travel, I don't try to set up an itinerary. I don't try to look what's local. I just go with our expectations, because expectations, I feel like it kills joy. So when a lot of kids, like what you said, they come in nowadays with, I want to get sponsored because I think I'll make this much. Mm-hmm. I want to do this, I want to do that, and it just doesn't click.
Yeah.
Because they had too much to expect,
And they fall out.
They fall out.
'Cause
And it shows. It
yeah.
shows that they didn't really love it. They came in for the wrong reason.
Man, I've seen so many of those guys through
Yeah.
the years. Yeah. You know, people ask me, oh, you still ride? It's like, because, dude, it's what I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super rad, though, that you got, like, into it because you loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an organic thing because not a lot of people, sorry, you're going to kill me. Not a lot of people find things that way. You know what I mean? And it's glad because people find music or find whatever. Like you said, you're influenced by media of like what you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to do and who you're supposed to like and what you're supposed to listen to, you know, because it's making somebody else money or success or whatever. So it's cool to find things on your own.
Right.
And you've done a lot of cool things, by the way. I want to mention, I've been wanting to ask you this since I've seen you. You just got off the road. You're on the tour with Camila
Cabello.
Cabello.
Camila Cabello.
She's huge.
Yeah.
She's got like 30 million followers.
60 million.
Oh, she has 60 million?
Crazy.
What? So on her tour it must have been like a huge production tour.
Huge production.
Thousands of people.
It's a great time. The
Like,
audience.
what was her audience size, you think?
At the least, it was
30,000? 50?
50,000 at least.
50?
Yeah, my first show was 80,000 people.
What? So that's stadiums.
And the most I was told was 180,000.
What?
Yeah.
So what did you
Glastonbury,
do on the tour with her?
My Wheelies.
So you did Wheelies like what,
On
around
stage.
her?
So I did Wheelies around her. That's like my time to shine. I felt like, and then just riding the background around the dancers around her.
Got it. I saw
which
that
did
there
my
was also
thing.
some freestylers that were actually riding the quarter pipes.
There was two 20-inch riders,
Yeah, the street guys, and I forgot their names. But
Billy Perry and Jiren Barbosa.
yeah, those are New York guys, I think, right?
One New York guy and one LA guy.
That's it, yeah.
And that's how I got a part of the whole thing.
Was-
Jiren, he referred me to the opportunity when he heard about it.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then what was that like to do? Was that your first, like, I mean, that's huge, but was that like your first was that your first show?
My first time live stage.
Like, because in the bike life world, there's not like a lot of demos.
It's
We call them
not.
demos.
Yeah.
But shows or tours of that, right?
First time.
So there's not many of that though. Neither is there. No one's really
No.
doing bike life demos.
No.
No. So then
Demos. So what is a demo?
a demo is like well, the bike world used to do them at bike shops, or like the demo would be
Shop
like
stop?
at a skate shop, or like oh, we're doing a demo at this state fair, or oh, Warped Tour's got demos, meaning that like demonstration. So it's just
Okay.
short for demonstration. But like oh, we're gonna ride the ramp for an hour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's our demo. And sometimes when we used to do them, it'd be announcers. Like, oh, so-and-so from so-and-so makes a noise, you got to do a trick. This guy, it's like, oh, that's old school kind of demoing.
Yeah.
But there's none of that in bike life. Or is
No,
there?
Not really.
No.
It's more ride outs.
You'd be first put together.
Maybe. Let's do
Yeah, you
something.
know? Yeah. But yeah, so the ride out is what, so people can understand the ride out's more.
So ride out is like a bike party. That's how I describe it because it looks like a party. Everyone's just together,
1,000 people.
thousands of people, and then
All
essentially-
walks of life.
all walks of life, all ages.
Not just the riders, like there's little kids. There's
Nowadays, you see kids, you see wives out there, you see older
crews.
guys out there.
There's like cliques and crews too,
There's
right?
crews out there too.
Yeah.
And that's what we don't want to get too away from, the community aspect. Like we want to be able to maintain these rides and this culture with moms being safe on these rides or kids being safe on these rides.
Are kids getting out of control in some of the rides?
A little bit.
Doing stupid stuff?
A little bit.
Yeah. I saw a couple and I was like, oh man, that's sad. Stop. 'Cause it's giving all bike riders a bad look.
It is.
Not just bike life.
I agree.
You know?
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. They're getting a little too
A little too
aggressive.
aggressive and
Doing stupid stuff.
the gang mentality.
Yeah.
That's what is, I say the virus is. It's just people feeling empowered in the sense that, like,
And numbers.
in numbers, it's good to feel united. It's good to feel powerful and strong, but put that energy towards the right thing.
Yeah.
Not stealing, not vandalizing, not aggression, but just keep pushing the unity aspect, the community aspect. Try to make a bigger community. Try to join together for something good,
Yeah.
as opposed to a riot.
Trying to do some stupid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because usually those are the kind of guys or girls that more guys though that don't really have much to contribute talent wise.
Right.
They just kind of want to get the attention off of causing trouble wise,
Right.
and then that ruins it for everybody. And the next thing you know, like, because I want to get back to your tour, but I want to say this real quick. We used to do rides back in the day, like in the early '80s, but it wouldn't be 1,000 people. If you saw 30 kids on BMX bikes, that was like a riot to society. Like, what?
Yeah.
And instead of cops escorting us, they chased us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was a different world back then.
Right.
Completely different. So when I went on that ride with JT, and by the way, we're JT sponsors. What's up, JT?
Shout out to the family.
Yeah. Cops were escorting. Cops do that a lot on your ride outs. They escort.
It depends what city. It depends what city and how you go about it. So
Yeah.
I like to contact law enforcement first.
Yeah.
Or at least someone who knows law enforcement to let them know what's happening.
Got it.
Because they might not allow it without a permit, but the least I can do is let them know what's happening.
Yeah.
And we're going to do our best to do what we do safely.
Absolutely. Yeah, because I remember I went on a ride out with JT in Vegas, and that was the first one. And I was like, there's a lot of people, and the cops were,
Yeah.
we're cool. They escorted and stuff.
In Vegas, they just worry about people on the strip. So that's where they get a little iffy.
Yeah, because that's where all the tourists are at,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where a lot of traffic is too.
A lot of traffic.
So back to your tour real quick. So you did this tour. Is she into BMX? Is she into bike riding?
Now she is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that was kind of more of like a choreographer saying, okay, we should get some bikes here. And she's like, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a long story, but I'll make it short. One of the dance choreographers loves BMX. He loves riding bikes, but he's a dancer. As he's kind of putting the thing together, being like a creative director / choreographer, I think he envisioned BMX riders.
Cool.
So he contacted his lawyer, and his lawyer represents another pro BMX rider. His name is Nigel Sylvester.
Yep.
Nigel, one of my favorite riders, one of them. He referred his boys, which is Jiren, Ralphie, which is the BMX coordinator,
Yep.
to put this together and help Calvit. Calvit is the coordinator for the dancers.
Got it.
And long story short, who do you know can wheelie? Who do you know can do tail whip? Who do you know can do this?
Oh yeah, and then you break it down. Then who looks like that would be cool.
And make sure they're all professional.
Yeah.
They're cool.
Yeah, and they're going to produce, and they and they're good on stage, and they look good on stage and stuff like that. Yeah. So that was a cool experience for you, huh?
It was life-changing because that tour got me out the country for the first time.
Awesome.
I went to Mexico, but people say that doesn't count.
No, it counts.
Okay, yeah. Technically it counts, but they're like, it's so close, they don't even count.
No, man, it counts. And where did you go in Mexico?
Tijuana.
Oh, hold on a second here. Sorry, keep talking.
In Mexico City. I went to Mexico City for riding bikes, and I went to Tijuana just to visit.
Got it.
Yeah.
So how was that?
It was cool. I love to travel when it comes to work. I'm not really a vacation guy. I'm not really like let's go out and spend money and see these sunsets and views.
I'm totally listening to you. Keep talking.
Just for it. But when it comes to working and I can travel, that's what I love. And that's what I prefer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, you just went to Vietnam, didn't you?
I went to Vietnam.
Why did you go to Vietnam?
So that was more like I went to all these countries, but I haven't been to the motherland yet.
And that's where you're from. That's your roots.
Yeah.
Yeah?
So I had to go. And there's a bike scene out there.
Well, wait, were you born in the United States, but that's where all your family's from?
Yes.
Got it.
I was born in California, raised in California, but I've never been to Vietnam. So
so
for that tour, for Camila's tour, I went to Portugal, I went to Morocco, Denmark, the UK, Mexico, all before I went to Vietnam. So I'm like, it's time to go.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
time to go see.
How was
my
it, though?
roots.
Was that your first time there?
My first time there.
So then that's your second time out of the States?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So-
I always felt like I was going to go there first
Vietnam.
because that's like where I'm from.
Well, that's where you're from and your family's
Yeah.
from. So both of your parents are born and raised there?
My mom was born in California. My dad was born in Vietnam.
Got it.
Yeah.
So how was that, though? That'd be pretty cool.
It was really cool. It was very humbling seeing the people because Vietnam's a poor country. I'm sure a lot of people know that. But it was cool seeing how they lived. It was cool seeing that they don't have too much, but everyone's very thankful. There's a lot of gratitude out there.
Yeah.
Everyone's very polite and very welcoming, too.
I noticed countries like that. Another country like that's the Philippines. When I went to Philippines, it was that way.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, but how did that feel though to be back? You know, or not back, but like your roots, your family roots, doing what you love to do.
I mean, besides
That's pretty sick.
I felt like I belonged there. Besides me being Vietnamese and being in Vietnam, I felt like the hospitality there was nothing like I felt before. Really welcoming. Everyone showed me around, make sure I stayed away from certain areas, make sure I ate the right places, make sure the bike ride was nice. So this first day, or technically my second day there, after I landed, we did a bike ride, and they showed me around the whole city.
Are there a bunch of riders there?
There's a bunch of riders there.
Yeah.
They're really cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
But it was
So bike
amazing.
life's universal, like worldwide.
It's everywhere. It's growing fast.
It's going. I'm just gonna say this, dude. I feel like bike life kind of replaced BMX.
You think so?
I mean, I don't want to say that because I'm BMX, and I want everybody. But like when I grew up, you had BMX and skateboard, and that was it. Nowadays, kids have so many things to pick from. You got BMX, bike life, electric bikes, scooters, razors, this, that, the other. You know what I'm saying? There's so many things to pick from. But what I felt like is as bike riding got BMX, I'm saying, it got more intense. The level of riding got more intense. What people see on TV is like gnarly tricks.
Right.
It's like, you get really messed up. You're gonna, you get completely fucked up. So you got this, and then you have bike life. That's like a bunch of guys out riding, doing cool stuff, doing the wheelies, having fun. It's like I feel like that looks more appealing nowadays to the dude that's trying to do like. And I'm not going against. I could be wrong. Anyone out there? I could be wrong. You're crazy, Rick. Our scene's nuts. We got 30 BMXers here.
Yeah.
Well, for every 30 BMXers, there's 1,000 bike life people, guys and girls and families and stuff. And I feel like with your sport, it's so big like that. 'Cause it's like you want to keep that family. Right. It's like it reminds you what BMX racing is. Right. It's more family. BMX freestyle is more like, oh, your dad's here. Why is your dad here? Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. It's always been that way. Your parents stay over there. We're going to have our own time. And so I just feel like bike life is way bigger, and BMX, as the tricks got harder, I feel like it got smaller. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm older and I don't see where the kids are at, but I don't see them anywhere.
No, I agree. I
just don't. Not like I used to.
Absolutely. I feel like the barrier to entry for bike life or big BMX is way easier because you go to any bike shop. Honestly, you can get any bike and then still ride with us. Because when we ride, you see mountain bikes, you see fixed gears, which is the track bikes. You see
very little BMX, though.
You see BMX.
But not many.
Yeah. Point is, the events we do, plus the sport we're in, the barrier to entry is very, very low. Yeah. You can be older, get a bike. And then the bikes itself, it's like, it's a BMX. Technically, it's like a big BMX. Yeah. And it's a cruiser. Or a neighborhood bike.
Do you feel like it's less judgmental? It's open arms to everybody?
Yes.
And that invites a lot of people.
Yes.
It's less cliquey. It's less rules.
I heard that's how hardcore BMX is.
Yeah, what you're supposed to do. Oh, bro, I got so much. I mean, I'm a leader, so I ain't even tripping on these fools. Yeah. And that goes back to, like, when people are doing all this style of riding, all these style of tricks, I'd always do opposite because I'd be like, I don't want to look like that dude. I don't want to ride like that dude. I want to develop my own style. Right. And if I do that trick, I'm gonna do it this way with that into it or this out of it, right? Yeah. But yeah, it's clicky. It could be clicky. Things could turn into that way, unfortunately. Right. Look, there's a lot of industries are that way. Let's put it that way. A lot. That when they become clicky and then these conditions come on them and like, who made up these rules? Yeah. I thought it was freestyle. I was free to. The whole reason I got involved because I didn't want this mold and these restrictions. Right. But what and who appointed you to be the guy anyway to tell people what to do? Exactly. You know what I mean? That's my mind. I'm like, who? What? I got.
And that's the thing. It's like
I don't know. So bike life seems to be more open arms to like anybody, and that brings more people, which means more people buy bikes. You see more people on bikes.
I feel like that's where the success was. The bike is multiple things. It's a family bike. It's a trick bike. It's a beach cruiser, because it's 29. Yeah. I got my 29 when I was 4'11" height. And I rode it all the way to now. Yeah. So from this age to this age, you can still ride. If you're 50, you can still ride. Oh, yeah. Bad knees, raise the seat, you can still ride.
Yeah, because and to get around town, it's easier on the bigger bikes. I still ride 10 miles a day on my 20-inch. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm just old school. That's just me. That's what I do.
Right.
But yeah, it's just, I'm not here to I'm just saying in BMX and in bike life, I saw a big change and a big shift. And I see kids out riding. I mean, I'll see a lot of kids out on electric bikes too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, get a normal bike. But them Ciron bikes, they're like dirt bikes, bro.
Those are getting really popular.
I heard they're starting to crack down on those things.
They are.
Because they go like 50 miles an hour or something, and they're like,
It's still like a gray area. Like, do you need a license for this? Do you need plates?
So I have to register it. I got to be 16, that kind of thing. But yeah, no, so bike life's huge. And so back to where we're going with that is that like worldwide, you could roll into like any town or any country and click up with some fools that you have something in common with.
Right.
And then you're part of that. You could check out their scene.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like bike life is not only the bikes itself, it's the style. So, like I said earlier, like on these bike life ride outs, you'll see many different bikes, a mountain bike, a fixed gear, but they're still riding or trying the same tricks we're doing, but on different bikes. So in different countries like Colombia, or there's riders in Jamaica, Africa, that don't have the nice bikes that America has, but they're still doing the same tricks we do on their bikes.
Got it. Yeah.
So it's more like a style, and it's a culture behind it.
Yes. But what I like about you too, though, is you ride skate parks, and I don't think a lot of, I could be wrong, but I don't think a lot of people in bike life even do any kind of tricks that like you're doing.
Not too many.
Like they don't really mess with the skate parks they don't come off the ground much. They don't jump much.
Yeah.
Right. Don't dudes just jump curbs on bike lives though? Just run and jump a curb.
Jump a curb.
Curb jumping, boom.
Yeah.
That happens, right? That's got to happen a lot.
Yeah.
Or is it mostly just wheelies?
It's
Because once you start coming off the ground, you got a whole nother level. It opens up so many doors.
So that's why I did it. That's why I started going to skate parks and started jumping more.
Yeah.
Or watch that kind of content because it made me uncomfortable. Like, I don't want to jump my bike. I don't want to go to a skate park. I might slip. I might eat it. And I have many times. But that's why I started going, because it made me uncomfortable.
Got it.
So facing it and trying different stuff, not only I faced my fears, but also I learned new tricks and stood out in that sense because not everyone's doing that in the bike life scene.
And so, does bike life want to be not that way, to say, well, we're not freestyle BMX, we're this, so then purposely they don't go to the skate parks, or is it just not caught on yet?
No, I think it's a subconscious thing. I think they have the same feelings as me as, that makes me uncomfortable. I'm not going to jump my bike.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, because it starts to get gnarlier.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying that's where kids are seeing, like, oh, you just did a 20-foot air with 3 tail whips. I don't know how long, that's the consequences if that slip a pedal, right? But I like the fact that you diversify yourself and that you're challenging yourself. And you'll be doing wheelies even in the parks.
Yeah.
And but that's what BMXers do too. They manual. We call it manualing.
Right.
But you'll manual that's kind of really popular style of riding in BMX. Like manual, it's up this, up that, nose off this, whatever. But like, I think that's cool. And you do the flatland tricks too.
Try to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like front wheel hops, back wheel hops, that kind of stuff.
It's all just challenging myself and just seeing what I can do on the bike I have and just trying different stuff.
It's different on a bigger bike though, I will say.
It takes courage. And
the wheelbase is different.
Yeah, it's way
But
different.
if you get used to it, if you grow up riding a 29-inch, then you're going to be able to do tricks on a 29-inch because that's all you know.
Yeah.
That's like how we grew up on a 20-inch, right?
A little bit, because when I ride a 20-inch and I bunny hop, I feel like it's going to fly from under me.
Because you're not used to the timing, the height where you're at, where your feet are positioned, where your arms are at. It's all different.
Right.
Body position, And, but that's cool, though, that you do that. You think that's going to catch on in bike life?
Maybe. It is, but it's not, because it's all about courage. Courage and mindset is the big pusher for why people do these scary things.
Yeah.
Or maybe it might be, I want to be the first one to do it out here, or I want to be the first one to do it on this bike. But even that takes courage too. So what steer a lot of people away from the skate park or jumping, especially in our scene, is there's not that much courage out there.
Yeah, I hear you.
There's not that much courage.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that it'd make it in the X Games?
So,
I saw the X Games cover it,
Yeah.
and I know that like some people do some contests,
Right.
Willie challenge contests. I've seen that,
Right.
and so I started thinking like, oh, is that gonna? Because they did demos at X Games of like roller skaters and break dancers and stuff.
Right.
I thought, well, whoa, I wonder if they're gonna do like even just to present it, like, hey, Have you heard anything about that?
I see that they covered it too. I can see it in X Games. I can see it in X Games because isn't dancing in the Olympics?
But but do you think that it would have to be more, what would it be? A wheelie challenge.
It would have to be obstacles on a wheelie, not dropping the wheel, doing certain combos.
So you're gonna have to add more stuff than just wheelies.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what they do is they're called combos. So basically you do a wheelie and you jump on the seat to the pegs, to the pedals.
I see that, yeah.
Twist your legs around, and they're called combos.
Got it.
And yeah, they get complex. They can last for a whole block, maybe 2 blocks. But the whole name of the game is don't drop the wheel. Because on the skateboard, if your foot touches the floor, you didn't land it, or
Oh yeah, I'm with that all day. I see
Yeah.
nowadays people do tricks and put their foot down. I'm like, I didn't count.
yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean?
So same thing with the wheelie.
Yeah.
You want to do all these combinations without dropping the wheel.
So what about swerving?
Swerving too. But it's hard to judge swerving because,
That's a swerve contest, right?
yeah, you want
Yeah.
to get as close as you can without hitting it.
It's usually a car.
It's usually a car.
I mean, yeah, that would what you would put in the parking. Like if you did a swerve competition, you would put a car there and swerve around. It wouldn't be like a person or like a couch.
I wouldn't even do a car because that just promotes swerve a car.
Well, what yeah.
But that's what they did in the obstacle. I would do like
What would you do? A dog?
a mannequin.
A dog?
A
No, I was
mannequin.
kidding.
A dog.
A German a Rottweiler?
Yeah, can't panic. I would just do literally like I don't know, like a foam target.
Yeah.
Like, because the car, people should know by now. If you swerve against a car, anything happens, you're not gonna win.
You've probably seen a lot of things happen out there on the street.
I've
People
seen a
trying
lot.
to swerve cars and
I used to, but
Yeah.
it's like not smart on a business aspect. And just like if you think about it, you'll never win against a car. The driver will be perfectly fine. The airbags won't go off, but you're just gonna go down. Bike will go down. It
Yeah.
can be worse than that too.
So you think it'd be in X Games?
I think it'd be X Games.
Why not?
Yeah.
You know, like it'd be pretty cool if you guys did like a. Is anybody like this? Is there any organization in the sport? Meaning, like, is there anyone that's doing shows and contests, and there's a committee or a group of guys doing that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
It seems like that's the next step. It would go from being from the street to organize it to events. So there is a crew of people.
Yeah. So,
Are you part of any of that?
yes and no. I support them. They support me. The organization is called Crash Boys International. They're based in the East Coast, but they cover a bunch of states. Like they do rides out here in California. They do rides in Philadelphia, New York, Baltimore. But they are the ones that collaborated with X Games to get it covered on their social media.
There you go.
So
Okay.
they basically rented a whole neighborhood, street in Chester, Pennsylvania, abandoned city, quiet, and they had sponsors there, big sponsors like Ben and Jerry, a pizza company, to give out to the riders, cash prizes,
Got it.
giving out bikes, and
So
they're the
it's
ones that
organized.
did it.
So it's an organized
It's
event.
organized.
Yeah.
That's one of the first in bike life that I've seen and been to and participated in, and it was really cool. I love how they set it up. I love how they had it organized. They had the whole street rented, basically.
And that's kind of, yeah, that's awesome. Well, that's kind of how you got to be. Otherwise, you're just going to be like a side note. I mean, look how long it took for
Right.
breakdancing to get to where it's gotten, right?
Right.
Like, and it's like, you got, and I'm sure, like, I don't know anything. Don't know anything about breakdancing
Same.
or the organizations or the
Yeah.
culture. But I'm just saying, like, I was just comparing it to that, like something you would do on the street.
Right.
Even like what we did as BMX, it had to get organized to throw an event to get to the next level. Otherwise, there's just like a side note. And you don't want to be a side note your whole life. You want people to know what you're doing,
Right.
pull people, get them involved,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. What's your take on that, though? From being like a street rider from the street to around like an organized event. Is that weird for you? Because I know for us, back in the day, dudes would get weird on that. Like taking the soul out and all this.
Yeah.
Do you think that? Or how do you feel about it?
No, I actually get inspired by it. I get
Yeah.
inspired because I can see the evolution. I can see, oh, we used to do this in the street, which we still do. But now there's big sponsors behind it.
A
We have a
platform.
whole street to do what we want to do. There's a prop car here that they can swerve on,
Yeah.
and we won't go to jail for swerving it.
Yeah.
So I think that is it evolving, and to me, it inspires me. So
Yeah,
it's
so
not
what's
like
wrong with
a-
getting people involved with what you love to do, inspire other people?
Exactly.
I got this feeling. Do you feel that way? You have this feeling that you get from this, and you want to share it, and hopefully someone else could find the feeling you found.
Yeah,
because that's what life's about. Life's about a feeling anyways, isn't it?
Because biking is my tool to feel free. But
Yeah.
for someone else, it might not be a bike. It might be a skateboard. It might be roller skating. It might be painting. It might be martial arts.
Whatever.
Find your tool. That's the point
Yeah.
that
I
I
like-
like to push.
I like that. And you got a signature bike too, don't you?
Yeah.
With
I have
Thrown?
Thrown Cycles. Thrown Cycles and we did 3 of my signature bikes, or 3 versions. 2020, our first one, and we just released one in March, the V3,
Is the Goon?
the Goon XL.
The Goon XL.
27.5 fat wheel BMX.
That's what you just released.
Yeah.
So how's that feel?
Is one of my biggest milestones so far in my career. Seeing my face on the bike and seeing my ideas come to life, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Kind of what we touched on earlier, like just seeing it in your mind, putting it on paper,
Yeah.
talking about it, and then seeing like a sample, seeing the art come to life, and then seeing it produced on boxes, and then seeing it stacked to the ceiling, and then seeing other people ride it. Crazy experience.
It is crazy. And did we cover earlier, 'cause I don't want to space here too much, what got you into it though?
Into riding bikes.
Not bike life, just in general, like, and I don't want to just brush over the fact that you have a signature bike. I think that's amazing. I think it's badass, and I know that feeling, and I'm proud of you. Anybody buy his freaking bike, go to Thrones.
If you can find one, get one.
Yeah. Oh, they only made a limited edition.
Every time we make them, they sell out fast.
They do, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
So,
if
they're,
you get
so they're
one,
sold
get one.
out. How many do they make?
Total about 10,000.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah.
That's badass.
And then we sold some internationally.
That's cool.
Took over the U.S. So they're just going everywhere.
Awesome. Get his bike if you can find it,
Yeah.
or wait for the next one to come out.
Yeah.
But yeah, we might have covered this, but I just want to ask you, like, what was the first, like riding a bike, like getting on a bike? Did you know right away? Because I did.
Yeah.
I knew right away the second I learned how to ride without, like, just getting up and ride.
Mhm.
I remember it. I was like, I'm going to hold on to this shit for the rest of my life.
Bikes has been in my life for a very long time, especially if you're a young boy. If you didn't have a bike, I don't know what kind of childhood you had if you didn't have a bike. But I've been around bikes since the earliest I can remember, training wheels and then just bikes here and there, my buddies' bikes. But what really got me locked into, I love bikes, is seeing a wheelie on one, seeing the wheelies. And that's all it stemmed from, that wheelie.
How many years ago was that?
This was almost a decade ago, almost 10 years ago.
So what you've accomplished in 10 years blows your mind. What do you have plan? You seem like a guy that would do plans or set goals. What do you think the next 10 years is going to be?
I think the next 10 years,
That's a lot to ask somebody.
it's a lot.
Usually you say
because
5. Usually it's like a 5-year plan, then 10-year plan,
Yeah.
or whatever.
It's a hard question to answer because
It's extremely hard.
every time I
but-
have a plan, the universe just gives me more and gives me better. So it always changes for the good. Even if it's bad, it's still good ultimately. And the amount I accomplished within the 10 years, a lot of it was, for lack of better words, it was an accident. Like I said, I just got into bikes because I loved it. It made me feel free, and I was just riding. All the success, all the sponsors, all the dope people I met was an accident.
All right, so okay, I got you. I could relate to that.
Yeah.
How about this? Where do you see bike life in the next 5 years?
Where I see bike life.
That
in the next
seems more.
5
That
years.
seems more like could make sense. You're
Yeah.
I'm just kind of. I guess I'm trying to get in your mind of what your next moves are for you,
Yeah.
and where you think bike life's.
I
gonna
definitely
go.
have that in mind.
Yeah.
But where I see bike life, X Games partnering with Crash Boys International was huge. Like that made me super happy because we're getting more recognition on the stuff we're doing, whether it's swerving the car, whether it's a simple wheelie. It's getting recognition. It's growing. So where I see bike life is people who are serious about it, getting cool sponsors, doing a lot of brand deals, us in more commercials and us in more films.
Man, it's so weird talking to you. That's amazing. It's so weird talking to you because it's like the same thing that happened for me.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, I just got into riding because I loved it. And I met this person, and this happened, and all these things that BMX had reached its point of going, you know, doing its thing and where it's at, and then seeing with bike life and where things are going, where it's at. I think that a lot of that is probably going to happen.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool to do you guys' own shows and your own tours and collaborate and come up with a cool angle where you can incorporate dance, maybe break dancers with bike life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And do a presentation. I know a bunch of people do school shows for kids and stuff like that, but like demos and getting it out there and pushing it. And I think X Games. When I saw the X Games post that, I'm like, oh, they're gonna have this,
Right.
Because they have it's on their radar.
Right.
But I don't know if they are or not, but it's on their radar. But I think that's something that's probably gonna happen. And I'm happy for you, dude, because it's kind of mirroring like a younger version of me, even though I look way hotter than you.
Yeah.
Of like the way that I got into it and the things that happened to me. Enjoy the ride. That's all I could tell anybody in life is like, you get one shot, this ride, you'll wake up in your 50s and be like, dang, and I don't regret nothing. I did all my stuff. I'm happy.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Enjoy all of it.
Yeah.
Because those opportunities are going to come your way. You know what I mean?
I agree.
It's been a dope conversation. I'm stoked you've been on the show.
I appreciate you, Rick.
I appreciate you too. Anyone out there, I want you to follow him and get his bike, and I want you to follow our show and tell your friends about the show. And follow me, follow everybody, follow everyone. But tell
Click
them
all the links.
Tell her your Instagram right now so they know where to get you.
Instagram, YouTube, TikTok at Deezy Bike Life.
How do you spell that?
DEEZY Bike Life. BIKELIFE.
Get some positivity in your life and follow Deezy and follow Ricky. Ricky
panic.
and Deezy in the mother trucking house.
Yes, sir.
Yo, much love, dude. Thanks
brother,
thanks
thank
for
you.
rolling through.
Appreciate you.
Stay ready.
Everybody ready? Come on, let's go.
The Rick